Guys, the prompt is the next thing. If you're not on, get on, okay?
You come up with a plan, a business plan. You do it yourself. Let's say a client comes up to you to say, I want to open a company. How do I go about it? Then you advise them whether the business that they want to open is good enough. Then you tell them about the ways on how it's going to come into existence. You do the drafting, you revise their articles of association. Then you go to PACRA now to apply for the company to come into existence. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you know, is there a difference in registering a brand name and a company, like in terms of like legal things?
These are two different things.
Okay,
a company, that's a body, like it comes in as a whole thing. But then for a brand, it's, for example, you've seen this pen.
Yes.
It falls under, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see.
Yes, so it falls under that company. So that company also has got its own brand. So a brand is a different thing from a company name and the company itself.
Okay, so do you think you also need a corporate advisory for that specific thing, or you can do it on your own?
No, you can't do it on your own unless you are willing to take a risk. What if you come up with a brand that is already existing, that the other person is using? What happens? Meaning you're committing an offense. They would sue you for that. So you need advisors to come in, as well as PACRA, to either advise against or within.
So, you know, when I'm having this conversation with you, I'm thinking lots and lots of money or something, and then, you know, let's just say, like, how do you say that? Is it available to anyone who would want to just start a company, or there's requirements that one would need to enable you to have corporate advisors and stuff?
You need to, it's expensive to bring up a company into existence, and for also the corporate advisory. So it's expensive. Let me just say, that's just the thing I'm going to tell you, because it's involving. It's not only, okay, I want to open a company, I've come up with a company name, and this is the amount of money that I want to pump in my company. No, it's involving. You need to, for example, you have shareholders. In a company, you need to have shareholders, unless you're doing it on your own. There's a lot of things to do. You need articles of associations to be drafted. You need money to pump into the business. There's a certain percentage that you're supposed to pay. So it's involving. You just have to be ready financially.
Yes. So, what's the difference between an LLC and the S corp or C corp?
Do you mean a limited company?
Yeah. So, like, what are the terms of a limited company? Like, is it, like, let's say if somebody is getting sued, right? In an LLC, would they also get into their own assets, or is just limited to what is in the company's name?
Again, it falls back on the articles themselves. What do they provide? What do the shareholders want? So it's not like there's a specific limit, but it all goes back to the association. What do the shareholders want, or what's involved in that? Or if you don't have the articles, you fall back on the Companies Act. What does it provide? So there's no limitation to say you have to do this, you have to do that. It's all about what you want to be provided on what you have.
Okay, so let's talk about litigation, right? So how do people manage to prepare, and then, you know, for some who don't know what litigation is, how could you explain that to them?
Litigation is one hell of a wide section when it comes to law.
Okay.
So it's all about taking each other to court.
Mhm.
Yeah, you take each other to court. This person did this to me, so I'm claiming this, or I want this to be done on this certain matter. So for you to prepare, you need to know the facts of your client. When your client comes, make sure your client gives you all the details that you need.
Mhm.
They shouldn't hide anything. Yes. So you need to know the facts, that's number one.
Mhm.
Number two, you need to read the law. Read the law fully and compare the same to the facts that have been given. Then come up with the correct law that you're going to apply to the matter at hand. Then from there, you wanted to say something?
No, I'll say continue.
Oh yeah. Then from there, you have to now come up with what type of documentation are we going to draft in relation to the matter that has been brought. Then you also have to read which courts, because there are different courts. We've got the commercial, we've got the principal, we've got the industrial relations, to mention but a few. So you have to know where the offense falls under.
Mhm.
Yes, so then you come up with a document, the correct documentation, because if you just go to court and file maybe a matter that is supposed to come before the principal registry, you file it in the commercial court, they'll send you back and tell you these are not the correct documents that are required. So you need to read, research more, know the facts of the case, know the law, and know the correct application.
Okay. So, I want to ask a fun question, right? So let's say if one wanted to be a judge, what would they need to do?
If you want to be
Yeah,
judged,
stuff like that. Yeah.
you have to go through Ziali and you have to be specialized in a certain field. If you fall under criminal, you have to be specialized, you have to be experienced, you need to know the law. Then you can be the judge. You can be chosen to be a judge if you are lucky.
Okay, okay. So,
Mm.
I know you do law and you're also a business person. So how do you manage to find time for everything? Doesn't it become
Yeah,
a lot?
okay. My battery is low. So it's time. You need to manage your time. I have to manage my time. If I knock off late, when will I be free for me to go and deal with my other personal businesses that I'm handling? So you need to divide your time.
Okay. So let's talk about diversification. How important is it in today's society to be diverse in terms of doing different things, most especially since there's also COVID-19?
You have to come up with a proper plan. You can't just wake up in the morning and say, okay, I'm just going to do this thing, or I'm going to do this and that. You also have to look at what's at hand at the moment, what's selling out there, what do people want. So you have to divide your time. If you're working, you divide your time. When am I going to do my other private works? Yeah, and then you can't just rely on one thing, like you're working, so you just rely on a payment from work. No, you need to have backup. You get, what if while you're working with this COVID, things go bad? Where do you fall? So you need to be broad. You need to fall on both sides.
Okay. So let's say if you're to talk to like just everyday citizens, what are some of the things you tell them that they should know about the law in their country or something? Like apart from the, constitution.
There's one thing that is said, that ignorance is not a defense. So you just need to know, read more, get a paper, read. For those who can't read, at least listen to the news and just know what's happening around you. Just know what's happening around you and understand. You don't have to be ignorant and, oh no, it's okay. You just have to what's on the ground. You get. And business wise, if you want to do business as well as other things, okay, it could not just be law, but maybe other courses or other things. Just manage your time, and you have to be disciplined.
Okay. So let's say, what would you say on how to discipline yourself? Let's say, for example, what would you say certain people need to do, like to be disciplined? Because we always hear about being disciplined, but no one says what exactly it is. Or what should you
Okay, you discipline yourself. Let's say you're doing business. These days it's always from hand to mouth, hand to mouth. But if there's something that you want to do and you want to obtain something, let's say you want to buy a vehicle, it's not wrong to admire things out there. You find a nice dress, if you're a lady, you just there and then, this dress is nice, let me buy it. Then you buy without having a plan to buy that dress, meaning you're not financially disciplined. Yeah. So what you have to do is know what you want. If you want to get a car, start saving up. Even if you see a very nice bag, very nice shoes, just don't be tempted to get. Discipline yourself. Know what you want.
Yeah, and then, to the modern youth of today, like let's say, for example, me and my peers, what did you say? Because we are trying to start big. That if we start business now, we want to have 5 million by tomorrow and stuff.
Take it slow.
Uh-huh.
Take it slow. Do not be in a hurry to be rich. Just take your time. Plan, take your time. Don't, because you've seen your friend is driving this car, your friend is wearing these clothes, then you also want to do the same. You don't know how your friend has that money that they have for them to buy whatever they have for themselves. So take your time, discipline yourself, then definitely you're going to get what you want.
And how about like savings?
Sorry?
Do you have any principle on saving?
Yes, if you tell yourself, I'm going to be saving maybe 500 kwacha per month, just do that. Just focus on that. Just don't misuse the money. No matter, that a coin, just the same 1 kwacha coin can make a difference. Even if you're saving a 1 kwacha every day, by the end of the month, you would have how much? Maybe 30 kwacha or 31 kwacha.
Yeah.
So it's all disciplining yourself. If you say, I'll be saving 500 kwacha, no matter how hungry you are, save up if you want to buy what you want to buy. Or if you want to.
So are you promoting starvation?
You wouldn't call it starvation. I'm promoting discipline, being financially disciplined. Yes.
So do you have any last words, like any advice to anyone who's trying to do what you're doing, and also where can people reach you?
Okay, LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as Nana Bweupe. Yes, I'm on Facebook as Nana and Instagram as Sinzi. So, if you're planning to do law and do business at the same time, you need to take it serious, and you just have to read. Law is all about reading and understanding, applying yourself. It's wide. It doesn't need the lazy people. You don't have to be lazy. Yeah, you have to be standing all the time. You need to put in your A game.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for being on the prompt.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and for anyone who wants to reach out to any of us, we can just holler and yeah.
No problem. Thank you.